Happy Alien Day, everybody. I'm here, AVP Wargamer. I'm gonna speed paint up some aliens. Because why not? It's Alien Day, everybody. Uh-oh, this alien's missing a hand. It's probably in the box. These are the unicast aliens. Got some warriors here, as well as some alien infants from Prodos games. And what I'm gonna do is see if I can speed paint these guys real quick. So if you have some aliens and you want to paint them up, what I suggest is to primer them black and then get yourself some silver and dry brush them all silver. Then we're going to go in with like I got a blue wash here. This is a Draken Nightshade. Makes a really good look. Here's the silver that I like to use, this P3 formula. Again, you want to dry brush these guys all silver, and the base. And what we're gonna get is kind of that James Cameron aliens look after we dry brush them all. And give them a wash. Now, if you want to see some of the other stuff that I've been painting, I have an Instagram now called AVP Wargamer. You can go to Instagram and see some of the stuff that I've been painting. Right now, I don't have any alien stuff on there yet. Well, actually, I have a few of my older paint jobs on there of some hero clicks that I repainted. Not too much on like this guy, who I'm working on. This is one of the hero clicks, well, at the time they're called horror clicks aliens. And I mounted on one of these little predator pillars here, and that's a zombicide zombie that I turned into a victim. This has been sitting in my box for a while. Haven't gotten around to finishing that, but it's close. When I get all these painted up, I'll post pictures on my Instagram. But right now I have a lot of Massive Darkness and Zombicide stuff on there, a little bit of Doom. If you paint a lot of models like I do, what I would suggest is make a folder on your computer and save, or an Instagram, and just start documenting all the stuff that you paint, so that you can kind of see your progress throughout the year. This year has been really productive. I've painted probably more models this year than I have in most of my life. I had a painting commission with one of the guys in the AVP Wargamer Facebook group. I painted up his models. I'll have to count how many models there were. It was one full box set of 2nd edition, plus most of the expansions. And yeah, I painted up all that stuff for that guy. And I did it all fairly quickly. I did it in about 4 weeks, just off and on. Probably put about 30 hours of painting into it, so really quick paint job. Probably the fastest paint jobs I ever did, but they turned out pretty good. Got pretty good detail on it too. There we go. These guys are looking good, nice and silver. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to pause this video and finish dry brushing all these guys, and then I'll show you how I wash them. Alright, so while I was brushing these guys, I had a little bit of a boo-boo. Accidentally broke off one of the tail pieces. Just a little bit of this tail snapped off, fell on the floor. And the floor's kind of dirty, so there's no way I'm going to find it. So, if you ever do that, well, first of all, if you break off an arm, hopefully you'll have some other bits laying around that you could replace the arm with. Luckily, I found that guy's arm, but his tail snapped off. So now I have to find a way to create a tail. So it's pretty easy to do. You can find like something that looks like the sharp bit of a tail, like that. I have these little metal sprues. These work pretty good. Or you can just shave off like a piece of plastic. This right here is a piece of like a base to a zombicide model. Come on, focus. There we go. So I could actually whittle this down into the shape of an alien tail if I wanted to. But I have these little metal bits, which look pretty close to the tail. So you see how his tail goes like that. And this is the warrior alien, same pose. It's kind of snapped off its tail a little bit. So no worries, I'll just cut off a little bit over here. There we go. And then I'll just glue that on. Okay, so I have my little bit here. Hopefully I won't lose it. Just rub that in some glue. Kind of glue it on there. There we go. Look at that. I fixed it. So just a little piece of metal there. Glued on. So I'm going to set this guy aside. He's going to dry. And I'll get back to him probably tomorrow or when I'm ready to paint. So I'm going to take some Citadel Draken Nightshade, which I really like. It makes a really good James Cameron Aliens look to it. So you're going to take your alien and give him a wash. And what this wash does is it gets all those details for you, so you don't have to go in there and individually paint in all the recesses. It's literally impossible to paint that small on these models for sure. So but if you paint in the whole thing blue, this blue wash, and rub it pretty good, get all those details, you're gonna get pretty nice kind of metallic alien look along with the blue. Now that's tabletop ready. If you needed to get this stuff done like super fast for a game, you don't want some bare resin looking models, just dry brush them silver after a black primer, give them a blue wash, and you're good to go. What I'm gonna do with these guys is I'm actually gonna go in and like put a lot more work into these. I'm gonna spend some time on the bases, adding colors to all the wires and the mechanics, and then I'm also gonna paint the tops of their faces right in there. I'm gonna paint the top of that face there black, and then gloss it with some gloss nail polish to give it that glossy dome look from the Alien movies. But anybody can paint, especially aliens. Aliens are so easy to paint. You don't even know. Also, after you've been painting a long time and you want to get better, I would suggest painting some models for some of your friends, or if there's people out there that want you to paint their models for them, they don't have the time or the skill level to paint their models and they want to pay you to do it. Do it for cheap. Give yourself a challenge and see how well you can do it. You know, and don't be afraid, because if they don't like it, there's ways to strip the paint off the models. There's a lot of videos out there on stripping paint. And certain chemicals you don't want to use for certain products. Resin is really delicate, so you want to make sure you use something that'll be safe on the resin. I've stripped models with Simple Green. It works pretty good. But look at that. Pretty good, right? Now this guy, I went a little bit too crazy. Didn't really dry brush it. I more like painted it silver, but that's okay. Watch the magic of the blue wash. Look at that. Boom. Fixed. Do, 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 do. Okay. So this is pretty much all the infants that come in second edition box, plus a booster of Warriors, all unicast. Now, if you're wondering what kind of primer I use, I just use some Krylon black. What's it called? Oh yeah, camouflage. Just some Krylon black camouflage spray paint. Actually, I'll go grab that right now. There we go. Camouflage. It's Rust-Oleum, not Krylon. Silly me. And you just get the black. And this stuff, it gets in the recesses of the models pretty well. And it's a nice, gritty black that's actually doesn't leave too much grit. Why did I use the word grit? I don't know. But it's opaque, it's rough to the touch. You know, it's a good primer. It's not gonna fill in your gaps all gross like a lot of other Krylon and Rust-Oleum paints would do. But again, it's a great flat base color, which is great for miniatures. And you can spend a ton of money on the Games Workshop stuff. I think it's like $14 or higher for like a can of primer from Games Workshop. And honestly, like the cheap stuff works even better, I think. The Games Workshop stuff, it's more the sheen to it is a little slicker, and the paint doesn't stick to it as well as it does with the Rust-Oleum. I don't know why that is, because it's Games Workshop designed it for miniature paint. It is really nice paint, but I don't know, I just like the Rust-Oleum better. I feel like the paint sticks to the model a lot better. Oh my gosh, I'm almost done with all the aliens. Almost done already. Okay, so just to recap real quick. After you primer these black, dry brush them silver or gray or whatever color you want as your base, and then pick a wash that'll tint that color. Again, I like silver with the tint of the Draken Nightshade, which is a blue. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back after this all dries, probably tomorrow, and then I'm going to dry brush it again with a little bit more silver in certain spots, especially on the teeth. I'm going to pick those out with a fine brush, and then just do the domes black, and then gloss the dome. And I like to use just a gloss nail polish, but you can also get paint on gloss, and that works just as well. And yeah, you can go back in and do some crazy highlighting with white, like do just a very, very, very faint white dry brush to make some lighting effects if you want to like highlight certain spots on this. But you don't need to. This is just a lot of models to get done, so try some speed painting and then really focus your efforts on the bigger models, especially the Marines and the Predators. Those guys are going to be harder to paint, so really take your time with those guys. I'm being really rough with these. You should probably be a little bit more gentle with resin, but there you go. So there's my base coat on all my aliens. And now I'm just going to go back in and paint the tops of their domes black. Alright. I have a little more time left on this video, so I'm going to come in here, just paint the dome black. There we go. Want to make sure it's smooth. Get off any globs of paint. Just wipe it off. Just pet the model. Pet that alien. Make him feel comfortable. Nice and smooth down. There you go. And you can see the gloss of the paint. You know, once we paint, like that's going to dry matte colored, but then we can go in and paint a gloss over it and it'll look just like that. Now if you want some of the frosting in the dome, you can dry brush a little bit of white over the front of the dome, and that'll get that kind of frosted effect when you paint the gloss over it. So experiment. Try different things with your aliens. Don't be afraid to put all the effort into one alien and then just do all the rest in a batch. I found the technique that I like to use, and you will too. Now for the warriors, their dome is exposed, so I just do a little bit of black on the front only. There you go. I'm going to show you another trick. Blood for the blood god. Citadel colors. This is like an effect paint that gets like a kind of a deep blood kind of color. Some people don't like it. I actually kind of like it. I think it looks really good on aliens. So here's my guy that I painted too much silver on, but he looks pretty good. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take some of this blood for the blood god, and then I'm going to kind of spatter it on the mouth area. And I want to make really thin coats of blood there. And on the chin, you can see there's some flashing underneath the chin there. I didn't trim that off, so I'm going to actually just kind of gore it up a little bit with a little bit of thick blood. And if you get some on the wrong spot, just kind of spatter it a little bit. And then on the hands, you can kind of bloody up the fingers. And that looks pretty good. There we go. Yeah, this is pretty awesome. Very good. So there you go. So you can have kind of a bloody look on your aliens. You know, make them messy. Here's this guy. We're going to get him bloody too. Especially the hands that are open look really good with blood on them. And these guys aren't really that dry. I'm just kind of painting them wet. They just had some wash on them. Like, that looks good. Looks like he's been chowing down. All right, well, have fun. I hope that helped, and happy Alien Day.